Blessings, divine beings. Today we're going to do a reading with this really big box, the Druid Craft Tarot deck. This was my very, very first tarot deck, so I've had it for a really, really long time. You see the boring of the box. All right, I've already shuffled this, but we'll give it a quick little shuffle. Shuffle. All right. Sorry about the light. I have it like extra high today. Today's a really gloomy, stormy, rainy day in May, which is out of character for where I live. So we're gonna go there. So sorry about the lighting. Right there and there. Okay. Bring these a little lower, I think. See them better. Hoping that that's okay. There. Sorry. All right, so the first card we got is the Wheel. Second card we pulled is the King of Swords. The last card is the Seven of Cups. All right, so let's dive in. The book is pretty extensive. I really love using the book, so let's dive into that. So I just want to share a little bit about what the book has. So it has these keywords. It has a pretty long description of the imagery in the card, the significance of that. And then it has the significance of like in history, like it talks about pre-Christianity, right? And then the meaning, right? And then there's a reverse meaning and then the message, okay? So the keywords for the wheel is reaping reward, synchronicity, harvest, prosperity, inevitability, progress, completion, beginning of a cycle. Okay, and so the message is trusting in the process of life. Finding this card in your reading may indicate that only that one season of your cycle one season or cycle in your life is coming to an end and that a new one is beginning. To receive this card is auspicious and you are encouraged to trust in the process of life. You can relax and let go of some of the control you exert in your life or in your relationships. So much of your lives can be spent trying to steer the ship of your destiny, trying to control circumstances around us, but in the deepest sense, we are in the hands of the gods or the goddess. Our lives turn through the cycles of increase and decrease through times when all seems to be going well and times in which everything seems to fall apart. But love is at the heart of creation and our responsibility is to respect life and to sow seeds of goodness. This does not mean that we constantly have to be a do-gooder. Life is cyclical and we can achieve at certain times, but we can be active at certain times, but passive at others, enjoying letting go of our controlling will and simply opening ourselves to the inherent generosity of the goddess, enjoying the turning of her wheel through the stars. In addition, when considered in relation to the journey of inertia through the major arcana, we notice that the wheel follows the hermit only when we have withdrawn from for a while from everyday distractions can we begin to see the underlying patterns in our life. Wisdom comes when we no longer behave reactively but are aware of the themes that are woven through our lives, right? And the kind of message or quote at the end says, you can see the patterns in your life and the wider pattern in the cycles of birth, life, death, and rebirth. Harvesting the seeds of destiny, you continue to sow seeds of love. The King of Swords, keywords are intellectual, decisive, and discriminating. The King of Swords is a man of ideas and action. His intellectual powers are finely honored, and he is at his best when making judgments and decisions. He is the kind of person you need as a lawyer or accountant. Surgeons, scientists, editors, and computer science specialists are all ideal professions, for they need the ability to be discriminating and decisive. Attention to detail to the king and the King of Swords' inability to be swayed by his emotions makes him a good friend to talk to if you want an honest, objective opinion, or if you have to bounce ideas around. As a lover, he will enjoy fantasy and flirtation, though may avoid the depths of passion, preferring the bright lights of ideas to darker depths of feeling, where the mind is of little use as a guide. So the meaning behind this card is When not referring to a person, this card represents advice, particularly legal or financial. This will usually be a positive and helpful advice or factual in nature. It could also indicate a need for intellectual honesty, justice, discipline, or for you to make a decision based on facing the facts of a situation, and if necessary, undertaking a sacrifice for the sake of the greater good and for the sake of a principle. And lastly, for our Seven of Cups, keyword seduction, illusion, and the holy quest. Right, so the richer our imagination and creative life, the more varied the dreams and visions that we conjure up within our souls. This is the stuff of magic and enchantment, but it is vital we appreciate the difference between the world of imagination and the physical world. Advertising and movies create legions of seductive images that can enthrall us, and even though many of the desires and dreams they evoke can never be satisfied in real life. It is possible you're experiencing a time when you are feeling seduced by a number of different ideas and possibilities, but are finding it hard to decide which way to proceed. There may be a number of propositions in the air, but be cautious. They could all evaporate. By simply being patient and waiting, you will discover whether any of them are likely to be lasting. It is also possible you have inadvertently slipped from exploring potential or visions to merely daydreaming. An activity that might have begun as a goal, planning, or an exploration of the inner world may have become confusing or simply a waste of your energy, plunging you into a world of illusion. Sometimes this card can indicate you are sinking into debauchery as you greedily pursue every opportunity to satisfy your desires. Alternatively, you may choose to pursue the mystical quest of the heart, tracing desire to its very roots, which are indeed holy. Then this becomes the Holy Grail. All right. I didn't share everything. The book goes over a lot. It's a pretty extensive book, right? But if anything called out to you, anything spoke to you about these cards, I'd love to hear it. Share it in the comments below. I'd love to connect.